Hey guys, this is Larius. I've been asked by some guys on Reddit, the forums, etc., to go over sort of the state of the meta right now, you could call it. Right now we're 1 nationals in Armada. We've got about 140 days worth of the game being actually out, and people are having issues with the effectiveness of squadrons and some of the rules. Now that's fine. I'm going to personally advocate for no house rules. I don't like them. I don't want to see them, simply because I feel that they don't teach the game properly to people who are coming into the game. So if you start teaching people these rules, that's what they know. And if that's all they know, then how are they supposed to come into a tournament and be like, well, what am I doing? I don't like it. I don't like house rules. I don't think they belong. We don't even know what the game is supposed to be yet, because we're 2/3 there. We've got Wave 0, which was the core set. We've got Wave 1, which we all know, and some hate, some love. But now we have Wave 2. Wave 2's coming out in the next couple of months, hopefully, barring FFG doesn't, screw things over and make us wait, or dock workers strike again. Pesky dock workers. Now, but what I'm saying is Wave 2 is going to bring out a host of cards and abilities that we haven't even seen yet. I know if you look on the Here They Come article, if you look closely, the MC80 has a title that has a Squadron Command icon, and both the ISD, the Imperial Star Destroyer, and the MC80 Home 1 expansion have an expansion card that I believe is part of the offensive retrofits, like Flight Controllers is. That's also related to squadrons. Those are only 2 cards. We don't know what the Raider's going to have. We don't know what the MC30, is going to have. The Shrimp Frigate. I love that frigate. But no, we don't know what those are going to have. So we can only assume and guess that right now, as squadrons are, they're not that good. They're not. They don't have the damage per turn. And you'll see me post this on Reddit or the forums a lot. I'll call it DPT. DPT is damage per turn. It's the amount of effective damage you're putting out every turn. Like a CR90A has really good DPT because you can get 2 arcs, and that's 3 red dice a turn from 2 different shots, which is really good because you're making them use defense tokens possibly on both shots. Now, it's not a lot of damage, but it's still a threat. The problem with squadrons right now is it can't unleash that much DPT. It's very sporadic. If any of you played League of Legends, World of Warcraft, MMOs, you understand that they're pretty much burst DPS, or DPT in this case. So they'll sometimes get a good shot off. They'll sometimes get really good shots off 1, 2 turns in a row. And if they're lucky, they'll get 3. The exception to this is the Rhymer Ball. Rhymer Balls can get shots off like a medium range CR90B, which is pretty good. So that means their DPTs increased over normal squadrons. Another problem with squadrons is they can be stuck in nothing, and you've got 100 points sitting there, stuck in combat with these couple of other enemy fighters, A-Wings, let's say, because that's what the second place Brian Schmidt used was 3 A-Wings, one of them Tycho, and he used them to tie up other squadrons as well as hit ships when needed. So your 100 points is just got nullified by 30 points, 40 points. That's the issue with squadrons. Now, Wave 2's got a bunch of cards coming out like Jan's, who has intel, and if I've seen her card correctly, it's a little hazy in the Here They Come article, but it looks like her non-named version also has intel as well. So it's got counter 2 and intel, which is perfect, because now you've got a hopefully 15-point, 16-point ship or squadron that makes all the enemy squadrons heavy. So your other squadrons and that can get out of there, like Tycho does, which is going to be amazing. I can't really tell with the Rebel or the Imperial stuff because, well, they're mostly hidden, except Boba Fett. Boba Fett. That's another one. Boba Fett has Rogue, which is he can move and attack in the squadron phase, which is spectacular. That's one of the biggest weaknesses of squadrons right now, is that they only get one or the other. So you can either move or attack, but that's all you get, unless you use a Squadron command. Now you've got these guys with Rogue who no longer need support. They need help from, stopping to be engaged and stuff, but other than that, they're effectively just, immune to the whole need of Squadron commands. They don't need to be shepherded around like babies. Which is kind of my issue with Squadrons. I mean, I use them. I'll use 1 Squadron, 2 Squadrons, maybe 3 Squadrons, but I don't feel my investment is currently sound with more than 3 Squadrons. More than 2, actually. 3 Squadrons is pushing my limit, because at that point I'm getting, with Rebels, 39 points, 38 points, Tycho and 2 A-Wings. It's a lot of points. I could get another CR90B for that. But that's neither here or there. So currently the current meta is all about ships and activations versus less ships and Squadron. Now, more ships, more activations means you control the flow of the battle. I'm a huge advocate for going first because I'm good at going first. I somehow lose every time I go second. I don't know. I have no idea what happens there. I just don't get what second is doing to me. I'll learn someday, I hope. First allows you, going first or having more activations allows you to control the pace of the game. You get to control when engagements happen, where engagements happen, and part of the outcome, actually. You can decide, do I get a strike first? Do they get a strike first? Are they going to hit me with their weakest long-range dice and then come into my better range? If you're Imperials or Rebels, are they going to waste their range, come at me, so now they're in my range for the next couple of turns, so I can just skate around them and go pew 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 and watch hull plates bubble off. That's the question, isn't it? That's what 300 points is currently. 4 ships max, unless you're running CR90 swarms, which I have yet to see. I haven't played against it. They're probably really effective, like everyone says. I just feel that they're really necessary, or not really necessary, but really encumbrant. I'm not even sure if that's the right word. They need a lot of work. You've got to be able to get all of that firepower and concentrate it onto one ship within a span of 2 turns. If not, that ship is going to repair, have its defense tokens ready, and generally be a pain. So if they can get their shots off, like 4, 5, 6 CR90s onto one ship in 2 turns, that ship is dead. There's no way it lives through 3 red dice. Or if they're in blue dice range, lives through that. Which with Mon Mothma, they can get in blue dice range and not care. But yeah, that's the current state of things. We've got this thing called Gladiator blocking going on currently. Will it be a thing in Wave 2? Well, in mirror matches against Imperial Star Destroyers at that range, I don't know. Gladiator blocking at that range, they'll have to be a little farther out, I think, outside of black dice range, in order to let the Imperial Star Destroyer get into black dice range, so they can shoot at it. What about the Rebels? Right now, people are saying Raider swarms. I don't know about that one, guys. Raider swarms have no redirect, they have a brace, and they only have 4 hull. And currently, they don't have any Mon Mothma type effects, so their evades are useless at their best range, which is close. Because they have blue dice and black dice, from what we can see. Unfortunately, FFG was smart, curses, and I don't even get a hint of a color of a dice off their the Raider 2 card they show. They've got that part blocked off, which leads me to believe it's either 3 or 4 dice. Probably red dice are added in, maybe black, maybe another blue dice, and removes a black, which I'd be okay with. I'd be okay with more blue dice on the Raider. I prefer at least 1 red dice so it has an all-range area, but, you know, who knows. We know it at least has speed 1, has double clicks like the CR90, so it's pretty safe to assume it's like the CR90 in movement. But yeah, state of the meta, Gladiators. Currently the all-range champions, but only from a few tournaments I've seen, and from the Nationals. Now, we're going to go back to why I don't think house rules are needed. Currently, the issue with squadrons, the whole annoying issue is that if you destroy all my ships, so if you blow up all of my ships and I have squadrons on the table, you get 300 points. Now, there are situations where, hey, I took 100 points of squadrons, I'm going to kill, all of your ships but one, get 250 points. Oh wait, you killed all my ships, you only get 200. See how that works? There's a reason for the whole thing, but it hurts the squadron game right now. And because of that, squadrons aren't as useful, because you have to baby them with squadron maneuvers. If you've watched my B-Wing video, my second one, you'll notice I use B-Wings on their own and they go do their own thing. That's a very optimistic view and works really well against slow-moving targets like the Victory Star Destroyer. So a 4-ship list, usually for the Nationals, okay, we'll use the Nationals list for this. The Nationals list was 1 Victory Star Destroyer 1, so the red and black dice one. 3 Gladiator Star Destroyer 1s, so the ones with only black dice on the sides. Each ship had assault concussion missiles, and one of them had, except the VSD. The VSD had just Screed, so Admiral Screed was on the Victory Star Destroyer, and the Gladiators had ACMs, assault concussion missiles, and one of them had Demolisher. That was the Nationals list. It came in at 298 points. He didn't care about going first or second. So the whole issue right now on the FFG boards, at least as of a few days ago, we were having a discussion about Gladiators and their effectiveness to abuse the activation order, which got a lot of people wanting to change the activation order. I think if you've got more ships, you deserve to have more activations. You shouldn't be hindered by that. I believe that's a design of the game, since we don't have ships giving away activations like you do in Imperial Assault, where you've got like, hey, this Imperial officer is gonna make this guy go. Woohoo! He gets another activation, or however it works. I've only seen it online via videos when I was researching the game to see if I wanted to play it. It's an okay game. I wasn't really too excited about their community though on the forums, so it's a thing. Yeah, other than that, the meta is going to change. We'll see with the Australian Nationals coming up next month. We're going to see what exactly occurs. I think Gladiators are still going to be a huge part of the Nationals, but I don't know if Rebels or Imperials are going to win, because the person who gained second place, Brian Schmidt, I've heard about people playing against him. I haven't played against him. He's around my area somewhere. I don't know. But he got a 9-1 or a 1-9 loss first round, and due to margin of victory, he was able to pull those losses into getting enough points to win second place by 8 points for margin of victory. So the whole margin of victory argument is, oh, if I win, I should be worth more than someone who had more margin of victory. Well, yes and no. Margin of victory is important because it allows people to strive to get more points in order to raise their score up. So those people who get 1-9 losses or 4-5 losses in the first round still have a chance. Without that, they're just pretty much, it's like a game of Magic the Gathering. Oh, well, the people who are going to win this tournament are going to have wins all the way across the board. Great, I lost, I'm out, bye guys. And they'll just walk out. I don't like that. I don't like people dropping because they lost one game. Now, everyone around that I play against knows I have issues with losing. I get very morose, so to say. That's my tick. But at least I still have a chance to win the tournament or even get a good position. Like, I think I had in my last tournament a couple weeks back, I had a 6-3 or a 6-4 win, and then I lost against Mikhail, whose list I built, by the way. Go figure, I built his list and he beats me with it. It was so stupid. FML, guys. FML. Oh, well, but yeah, in the end, I won second place because, you know, all my scores added up. We didn't do margin of victory because I was still learning that whole system, and Mikhail had not organized a tournament before, so it was kind of, you know, hey, we're supposed to do this tournament, our TO is gone. Well, let's still do the tournament. Let's go, guys. So that's how that went. But yeah, with this whole state of the meta, it's going to change. We're going to see with Australian Nationals what happens. Do I expect there to be Squadron heavy lists in the top 8 there? Maybe. Here's why. So Quinn, the guy who won the US Nationals a few weeks back, he never fought against any Squadron heavy or CR90 swarm lists at all. Now there was a Squadron heavy list in top 10, but A wings, B wings, Y wings, the whole alphabet soup, I believe. But he won top 10. Now if Quinn had fought against that, I'm not exactly sure how that would have gone. I don't think Quinn would have reached the top table. The issue is that he had such a high margin of victory in his first game that he hit table 1. And no Squadron heavy list entered table 1's atmosphere. Okay? They never got to, as far as I know, they never got to table 2 or 3. They were always a little farther down. Because Squadrons don't have damage per turn. They're too iffy. Hey, I'm going to roll 1 dice. Cool. Hey, looky, my Y-Wing got a hit and a crit this turn. Cool. Next turn, hey, my Y-Wing got a single hit. Cool. My Y-Wing can't attack because it's engaged. Or my Y-Wing can't attack because it has to move and it's out of Squadron command. Because if I bring my ships in, those black dice are going to get me. Yeah, that's the issue I'm having. That's the issue I'm seeing, and I don't think I'm the only one. Of course, I'm going to get downcried. This video is going to get disliked all over the place. That's fine. I don't care. I had 100 subscribers. Yay! Much fanfare to be had. But regardless of what you guys think, these are my opinions. These are the things that I have seen, I have watched, I've theoretized, or hypothesized. There we go. And I created theoreticals on, you know, what ifs, how would it work, things like that. I don't practice much moving pieces around on a table, but I'm able to run the numbers, run the scenario, and figure out, based on my experiences and what's happened and what I think could happen, and see what's going to go on. The joys of Asperger's, guys. I've got one of those minds. That's pretty much it. The meta, like I've said 3 or 4 times now, will change. There's no ends, ifs, buts, doubts in my mind. It's going to change. Wave 2 is going to hit. You're going to have 400 points to work with. That means 4 ships and squadrons. Holy smokes. 4 ships and 4 squadrons. It'll be amazing. Now, I would like to point out to people that FFG's article on squadrons never showed 100 points in squadrons. I believe they went mid-range, around 40 to 50 points. That's a good number. That's a very good number. 40 to 50 points. If you can't somehow squeeze another ship in, go for squadrons. A Reimer ball. God, Reimer ball with TIE fighters. Not the most reliable thing in the world, but now you have TIE fighters in order to deal with any squadrons that come up. You can feed piecemeal to the whole A-wings that are there, and your TIE fighters and Reimer can still peck away at that annoying CR90 trying to get all the tokens, or intel sweeps, or whatever it's trying to do. Or it can peck away at that little last few shields of a assault frigate. Mind you, I've been on the receiving end where Orca's Pride has almost died to a Reimer ball. And thankfully, sort of my fault on this too, because I'm a very fast player. I sort of rushed Mikhail, or he felt rushed, and he messed up. I'm not going to say I'm upset about the fact that I made a mess up. I'm going to say I feel a little bad when he brought it up to me. But at the same time, it's a game. And everyone has their own pace. I do feel bad. I'm sorry, Mikhail. I'm going to beat you in the tournament on Saturday, don't worry. Yes. Threat issued. Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much the state of the meta. Mixed in with everything else on my mind right now. Wow. Other than overlapping. We won't go there. Not until I have a proper response from FFG. And those people who watch this and who know the thread I'm talking about, I won't go there. But I did like those last two pictures. Those a little silly. Yeah. Thanks, guys, and have a great day. Oh, yeah, and before I forget, like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to talk to me, chat me up anywhere. I'm on the Reddit forums, Lyraeus, Lyraeus, and same on the FFG community boards. I post a lot. I've cut it back a little this week, but not much. Alright, guys.